Thanks for tuning into the channel. And today, you're going to see the morning of a TURO host. So this car right behind me, you can see, we're going to be taking it out to the airport. We're going to make some stops. So if you're thinking about joining TURO, you're going to see how it could be for you. Also, if you're thinking what you need for TURO, like a lockbox, no smoking sticker, things like that, I got it all taken care of for you. In the description box, there's a link. Go ahead, check it out. Now let's get on with it. So I'm in the Nissan Sentra that I talk about in my videos that I have. And one important thing is when you're gonna go deliver the car, drop it off for one of your guests, make sure the gas is on full. This one's full, it's cleaned up and everything. And I'm heading out. On the way to the airport, I stopped by and picked up my other Sentra. And as you can see on the dash, this one has a little bit more miles and it's full. This one's also ready to go. Now, what I recommend, I do, if you've seen some of the videos, I do all airport, basically. I don't do much outside of that. But once in a blue moon, somebody will actually rent the car, pick up at home. I do offer that. So if someone doesn't need it at the airport, even though 99% is always from the airport, and that's why I say if you live by an airport, you may have success, because I get a lot living close to the airport. But once in a blue moon, again, there'll be someone that'll say, hey, I want to pick up the car, and I don't have to worry about taking it to the airport. What I do is I leave it in a location near... oh my gosh, my eyes like swollen. It's cold. But yeah, I pick it up. I mean, I leave it in an area that I believe is safe, public, but not at my house. It's like a mile away from my house. And the reason I do that, right, you have so many people renting the car, and I don't know these individuals. So because I don't know them and they're strangers, I don't want them knowing exactly where I live for safety, right? Because you don't know who anybody is. So one tip that I would say, if you're going to be doing TURO, is think of a location where someone can pick up the car that may not be your residence, because you don't know who these people are. You know, you assume that they're good people, and I believe they are, but I don't want to take the risk at your, you know, it's your house, that's where you live, or if your family lives there, right, your loved ones and things like that. You just don't want to introduce exactly where you live with your business, is what I think. So I keep them separate. And I just pick a location nearby. So if you're thinking, hey, I'm going to be doing TURO, I don't want to be doing any deliveries, I don't live by an airport, I'm just going to give the option of people come pick it up where I live, I would say pick a location close to where you live, maybe a shopping center that you think it'll be okay at, or a community pool in the neighborhood, just somewhere that you think the car won't get towed and be safe. Now, of course, always going to put this out there, if you do decide to leave the car parked somewhere, you always take a risk of something happening to the car. If you leave it in a plaza, it could be a location that it gets towed. So keep those things in mind. That's why it's important that if you are leaving it somewhere outside of your house, you're not leaving it there too long, and you're picking a location where you feel like, you know, it's pretty safe and it's not going to get towed and things like that. But yeah, that's my tip. I never leave I don't have people actually come to my house. I do have the car sometimes at the house. Like this morning when the video started off, that was at the house, but then that was an airport drop off. Since I have more than one car and I don't want to have all my cars at the house sometimes, right? I pick a location again that's near the house I believe is safe, and I'll leave them there sometimes. And that way I'm not filling up the driveway, the garage, and things like that where I live, which luckily I have the room. The house is a 3-car garage, so I could have cars in the garage. The driveway is pretty wide, but again, I don't want to fill up those spaces because I also have my personal car and things like that there. So that's what I do. That might be a good tip for you guys. Let me know down in the comments below if you're doing TURO, if you have any issues with parking, or if you do what I do, leave it somewhere near your house, or if you're thinking about trying it, right? Or if you have any questions, let me know. I'll answer them by replying in the comments, or if you want, I'll make a video. I've been doing that lately, making videos answering individuals' questions. But yeah, right now, this is the life of being a host. These are some of the things you may be doing. Picking up cars. If you do the drop-offs, which I do the contactless at the airport, you'll be driving. As you can see, there's the Sentra that's going out, so it's right in front of me, and you can see we're in some traffic. But luckily, the airport is not far, but it does take some time. So remember, it's not 100% passive, and I like throwing that out there because there's a lot of videos about being passive. You got to do some work. Even if you just leave it at your house and have people come pick it up, you're going to have to do work in the sense you got to make sure it's full. You got to make sure the car's clean. So it is going to take some time, and you're going to have to spend some time on the TURO app, on the website, right? You got to be checking prices to be competitive, to be able to get a lot of bookings. Because if you just don't check your pricings and stuff, you're not going to know if you know, that's going to hurt your bookings. And you also got to check to make sure you're profitable. And you got to upkeep the car with the maintenance, oil changes, tire rotations, all those things you got to keep up with. So all that's very important. If you're not going to, you know, spend the time doing those things, I don't think you're going to be successful. So then I would recommend probably not doing it. But if you are disciplined and you are going to spend the time that you need to, I think this is it can be a pretty good side hustle. It all depends though on you. Entering the Orlando International Airport. Now, I don't know if it's like this in other places, right? Some of you that are watching this may not be here from Orlando, but TURO's changed it up. Before, you could park any location on at the airport, and you can even charge the guests later for parking. Now, so I no longer do free deliveries to the airport because I would have the guests pay for the parking, and that got me a ton of bookings. Luckily, though, even with the change, I'm still getting a good amount of bookings, and I am having to charge delivery since I'm paying the parking fee for the guests, so I have to do it that way. And you can no longer park anywhere at the airport, so it has to be in certain areas. So I used to be able to park in garage C, A, B, any of those. Now they don't allow that. You can only park in the economy or surface lots. So it's very important that if you are in the Orlando area and you're thinking about doing TURO and you're going to do the airport, follow the rules. That way, you know, you don't get discovered that you're not, and you get potentially kicked off. But here you can see we're in the airport. Terminal C's over there. But I park the cars usually in economy because it's a lower price than surface. And for economy, usually where I would park, I just make a right here. But today we're actually doing something a little bit different. What we're doing different, you see right here, I'm going actually kind of fast, let me slow down. This is a pickup drop off. So I never do this. But because it's a friend that I know, I'm going to be dropping off the Sentra to them, and the pickup and drop off in the Terminal C area. And right now they're not there yet, so I'm just driving around kind of showing you the Orlando airport. But you can, I'm not sure if you saw exactly, but here at least is one of the surface lots. And there's 3 of them here at C, and that's a place you can park the car. And the way TURO wants you to do it is you go through your SunPass, so make sure you have a SunPass transponder, and it will charge that. And then when the guest picks up the car, they'll go out through the SunPass, and basically you're billed through the SunPass. And here's another surface lot, and this one's a pretty good one because it's right in front. So they can just walk across the street and they'll get to the car. So another surface lot here. So there's the second one, and then the third one is on the way out. But here's 3 surface lots that you can park to. There's a lot of spaces right now, but if this were a busy season, these can actually fill up, believe it or not. There's times where there's absolutely no parking, and even economy is full. But that really only happens around the holidays, like Thanksgiving, Christmas. That doesn't happen too often, so that's not something to have a major concern, and there's always a way to figure it out. And then as I'm driving out, you can see the last one. Now this is the worst one. This is definitely not the one we recommend because it's really far away. But that's another surface lot that you could park at as a TURO host. So far at the airport, now I will say this, they're constantly making changes. So just be aware that if you are on TURO, they're constantly making changes. But now I'm headed over by the 7-Eleven really quick, and then over here is the commie. So traditionally what I would do, I'd be going where you see that black SUV, that Suburban. I would be going that way. It is a 2-person job because I need a way back. Now, if you don't have the option of going with 2 people, your only other way would be with Uber. Or something along the lines like Uber, right? If you don't have a girlfriend, a wife, you know, boyfriend, etc., right? If you don't have someone to come pick you up, a friend, a neighbor, whatever it is, then you're gonna need a ride home, and you're gonna need to start calculating that cost, because that means every time you drop off the car, you're gonna be paying for an Uber or something like that. It could be pretty expensive. So just make sure to calculate that in your expenses if that's something that you end up doing. That way you could be profitable. So my friend, he's making his way down. You can see the Sentra in front of me. I'm in another Sentra. So one thing I do whenever I'm doing these deliveries, I just take one of my TURO cars if it's available. That way I'm not putting the miles on my car. And usually I don't even have to put gas because I live close. The needle doesn't even move. If it did, I'll just use the business credit card as an expense because I'm having to do a delivery. So those are some of the plus sides when you have more than one car. You can use it for things like this. Hopefully they're down here, and I'll show you how it goes. All right, so those are my friends. They came in back from their trip and they needed a car, so I rented one of the Sentras to them, and they picked it up at the drop-off pickup location. Now that's not something that I do. I would only do that for a friend or family member, so that's why you saw me do that. But that is an option. If you wanted to meet your guests, you can meet them there at a drop-off pickup, at least at the Orlando airport. I would check if you live outside of Orlando and you're gonna do airport, the location TURO's allows, because they've changed some rules around, so they're a little bit more strict. But yeah, there you got to see a little bit of a life of a TURO host, picking up a car, dropping it off for some friends and guests. So you can see definitely you need some time for TURO. Luckily it happened to work out that I'm on a day off, so I had a little bit more time for it. But all my other bookings, when I do, it's contactless, so I can drop off the car on my spare time. So after work, before work, on the weekends, whenever I'm off, right, I could go ahead and drop it off. I can play with it better. But in this case, since it was a friend, it was my day off, I took a little bit extra time, but I figured I'd take you with me in the journey. If you're a little bit curious to see a little bit of a life of someone that's on TURO, give you a little bit of a glimpse on that. If you're curious of the things that I use, like the lockbox, no smoking stickers, cleaning products, things like that, don't forget to check out the description box. I have a link there. You can click on that, see all the things that I use on TURO. If you like the video, don't forget to smash the like button. I really would appreciate it. Also, don't forget to subscribe. I'm trying to grow the channel, so I really appreciate that as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.